Hey guys, welcome to an episode of Oros with Bohochic. So I'm alone. This was a series that we had when our channel was super active. Trish and I would sit down and talk about whatever and drink Oros. Well, I would drink Oros. So today we're going to talk about Onlyfans. Alright, so this is post-production room, and because of this sound, I have to restate this. Onlyfans is a subscription service, so you can sign up as either a consumer, but this video we're going to focus on the creator, right? So someone can just sign up as a creator and start uploading content, and then the consumer will pay a monthly fee in order to consume that content. So in this video, I'm going to argue that this app is a way to create ethical porn, and I think it could really revolutionize how the porn industry works, which leads me to what the problem is. I want to talk about how problematic the porn industry currently is, and in order to do that, I'm going to discuss Mia Khalifa as well as the 15-year-old who was found on various sites. And yeah, we're going to look at those and kind of discuss how OnlyFans could help possibly eliminate things like that. Today then we're talking about the ethics of porn. So when I say this, what do I mean? I basically got this idea when I was watching this other girl's YouTube, and she was discussing the show Euphoria. And if you've watched the show, you would know that there's a storyline that involves one of the characters becoming a sex worker of sorts, right? And she was talking about how it's problematic that in the show they don't kind of delve into the dark side of it. They kind of sort of glamorize it, all right? So this girl was very she made some very, very good points. I would recommend you watch her video. Just gonna insert a bit of what she said about the ethics of porn, and she was very adamant about that she doesn't believe that there could ever be such a thing as ethical porn.
A great way to protest sex trafficking is to stop watching porn. Don't give them money. Don't support them.
Right. So in this video, I wouldn't even call it a response, because that was the framework for my arguments that I'm going to present in this video. So first up, we're going to start with Mia Khalifa. If you don't know who Mia Khalifa is, she is a former porn star, right, who went viral when she did a scene and she was wearing a hijab. So obviously that caused a lot of controversy, and she gained a sort of notoriety in the industry and in general pop culture as well. And so she says that it basically ruined her life and that she regrets doing porn, and I will insert her reason here.
And you might have already answered this. Do you regret it?
Absolutely.
Even given where you are now?
Yes, I would completely trade having a normal life and not giving people the right to see me online naked whenever they want.
All right, so the first thing I want to talk about that really stood out for me was the fact that she says when the backlash started happening, she was surprised that it was aimed at her and not necessarily at the people who directed and came up with the concept, right? So I feel like that speaks to how currently our porn industry doesn't grant any sense of agency to the sex worker. Do you understand what I mean? So what I'm saying is that when we think about the porn industry, I don't want us to just think about the sex workers, right? So think about who is shooting whatever it is that you're watching. Think about who came up with the concept. Think about who's editing. Think about those types of things, because what happens in the porn industry is that abuse, exploitation, and human trafficking is so rampant that when you go on these miscellaneous sites or whatever, chances are you might be watching someone who's drugged, someone who's being trafficked, or even if the people you're watching aren't victims or anything, chances are the producer, director, that's spit, but the producer, director, or whatever is involved in like dark things that you wouldn't be okay with consuming, right? All right, so I feel like the Mia Khalifa situation really speaks to this whole exploitation aspect of the porn industry, because not even just that she has no agency with regard to how her content is shared, etc. Even being paid is an issue, right? Because there's that story that she only got paid $12,000 throughout her whole career. Was it throughout her whole career? I don't know. I'll put the clip here. I'm not sure if from the video she's actually saying it's true, but yeah, I've also, like, when I was researching for this video, a lot of them were saying that the money is really not good, because obviously if they're being exploited, there's going to be unfair practices with regard to payment and like distribution and things like that. So yeah, the structure of the porn industry as it currently is very, it's like a breeding ground for abuse, human trafficking, and all those sort of nasty things, right? That we certainly do not want to be a part of. For example, the 15-year-old who was apparently missing for a whole year, guys. Her mom found her, I'll put the article right here. Her mom found her on sites like this, and this, and this, right? So, yeah, we definitely do have a problem, right? As I've mentioned before, these are like human trafficking, abuse, like using teenagers to be in this industry and things like that. Those are things that we do not want to support. So I feel like platforms such as OnlyFans are the only way that we can kind of have that anyone who's a consumer of this type of content can assure themselves that they're not contributing to the already problematic industry. You know what I mean? So because of all the security measures that OnlyFans has, apparently you have to upload an ID, there's ID verification. So I feel like that way it kind of gives you a sort of guarantee that you're consuming material that is both independent from the problematic system that we just discussed, or the problematic industry that we just discussed, and that the person who made it was consenting, right? They were consenting, they were conscious, and that they're running it themselves. And that, so in that way, I feel like the appeal of OnlyFans is its independence from those sites, the way you can just upload whatever, almost like YouTube, you know what I mean? In which it doesn't make sense, because obviously there should be like a no under 18 type of rule, right? So I feel like also OnlyFans kind of demystifies sex work, and it's not something that's seen as being, oh, it's for people who are down and out when you're really, really desperate, right? Because Mia Khalifa was asked whether or not she would what she would say to a young person who's considering going into this industry. She says that if you're doing it, you shouldn't do it unless you're doing it for money and you are like desperate for money. Whereas when she did it for self-esteem, and it wasn't something she was doing for survival purposes. I don't think an industry should exist where it's so dangerous that the only reason why you should do it is because it's like your last resort. Do you understand what I mean? I'm saying the industry needs to be cleaned up to such an extent that it's a viable job, career, or whatever. OnlyFans also takes away the stigma that it's something that's immoral, right? Because once you see that it's normal girls just like you, who are out here, and they realize that, oh, I can use my assets as literal assets, I feel like that's something that's pretty cool, especially if it's something that you can do in your bedroom alone. right? But most importantly, I feel like this app grants sex workers agency, in the sense that, you know, you don't have, and we don't know how this thing is going to escalate, you know, because I'm sure there are accounts there that have directors, and, you know, they're really high, they probably like really high quality stuff, right? So yeah, we don't know how this thing is going to escalate, but for now I honestly think it's a good thing, especially if we know that the girls are running it themselves and there's no one who's like exploiting them and who's abusing them or doing anything like that. And we know that they're, you know, they're of age, and, you know, everyone is safe in the cycle, from the creator to the consumer. And yeah, I feel like OnlyFans right now is kind of cutting out all that in the middleman, like the traffickers, the pickles. Conclusion, I really think OnlyFans could be ethical porn. If Olivia ever sees this, I don't know if she'll agree. But why would Olivia even see the guys? Look, all his subscribers. Here we're in Zanzibar. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you even made it this far, comment a dot. And then literally no one comments a dot. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Next time on Oros with Bohochic. Mm-hmm.